The rumble of motorcycle engines filled the quiet Filipino afternoon as a group of leather-clad bikers roared down a dusty road, their laughter echoing between coconut trees. They called themselves the Iron Sons, a rough-looking but tight-knit brotherhood who spent weekends riding through villages, handing out food to kids and fixing broken roofs for the poor. Leading them was Ramon "Big Bear" Santos, a former soldier with a scarred face and a heart of gold. To strangers, they looked like trouble. To those who knew them, they were angels in disguise. As they slowed down near a small roadside market, a tiny figure suddenly burst from the alley, barefoot, trembling, her face streaked with tears and dust. "Please! Help my mama," she screamed, her voice cracking with terror. The bikers braked hard, dust flying everywhere. The little girl, no older than 7, ran straight to Ramon, clutching his leather vest. "They're hurting my mama. Please, sir. They're hurting her." Without hesitation, Ramon dismounted, his voice firm but gentle. "Where is she, Anak?" The girl pointed with a shaking hand toward a narrow dirt path leading behind the market. Ramon signaled his men with a quick nod. "Let's move." The bikers followed the girl, their boots pounding against the earth. As they turned the corner, they saw a scene that made their blood boil. A frail woman was being shoved and shouted at by 2 men near a bamboo shack. One of them raised a hand to strike her again. Ramon's deep voice thundered, "Hey! Enough!" The men froze, startled by the sight of 7 large bikers approaching like a storm. The woman, bruised and crying, stumbled back as the 2 men tried to flee. Ramon caught one by the collar and pulled him aside. "You lay a hand on a woman again, and you'll answer to me." His tone wasn't just angry, it carried the weight of someone who had seen enough suffering in his life. The men mumbled apologies and ran off, leaving the woman shaking beside her daughter. The little girl rushed to her mother, hugging her tightly. "Mama! I was so scared." The woman, named Liza, whispered between sobs, "It's okay, baby. It's okay now." She looked up at Ramon and the others, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you. They were loan collectors, they said they'd take our house because I couldn't pay." Ramon knelt beside her. "You don't owe anyone your dignity, ma'am. Tell me what happened." Through broken words, Liza explained that she was a single mother who sold vegetables to survive. Her husband had died in an accident 2 years ago, leaving her with nothing but debts. When the collectors came today, she had no money to give, and they turned violent. The bikers exchanged glances. These men had seen the world at its worst, wars, poverty, and injustice, but something about this woman's quiet pain struck a deeper chord. Ramon stood and took out his wallet. "How much do you owe?" 30,000 pesos, she whispered, eyes downcast. Ramon looked back at his group. Without a word, one by one, they reached into their jackets and handed him cash. Old bills, folded notes, whatever they had. Within minutes, the full amount lay in Ramon's weathered hands. He placed the money in Liza's trembling palms. "Your debt's paid, 8. Don't let anyone hurt you again. Use this to start fresh." Liza stared at the money as tears flooded her eyes. "I can't accept this, you don't even know me." Ramon smiled softly. "You don't need to know someone to help them. We all need saving sometimes." The little girl tugged on Ramon's vest and whispered, "Thank you, Kuya Bear." She reached into her pocket and pulled out a tiny beaded bracelet, clearly handmade, uneven, but full of love. "For you," she said shyly. Ramon took it carefully, like it was made of gold. "This means more than you'll ever know," he replied. He fastened it around his thick wrist, where it looked almost comically small, but it shone like a badge of honor. The bikers stayed for a while, helping fix Liza's broken bamboo fence and leaving food supplies behind. When they finally mounted their bikes again, the little girl waved from the roadside, her mother's arm around her. "Bye, Kuya Bear. Bye, heroes." As the engines roared to life, Ramon glanced in his rearview mirror. The sight of that little girl smiling, safe and free, filled something inside him that had been empty for years. He remembered his own daughter, lost in a car accident long ago. Maybe that was why he couldn't drive away when he saw a child in fear. Later that night, as they rode under the orange glow of sunset, one of the bikers asked, "Boss, why do we do this? We can't save everyone." Ramon looked ahead, the wind tugging at his jacket. "Maybe not," he said quietly. "But for that little girl, today we did. And sometimes, that's enough to change the world." Back in the village, Liza placed her daughter to sleep and whispered a prayer for the strangers who had become their heroes. The sound of distant engines faded into the night like a promise, that even in a world full of cruelty, there are still hearts brave enough to stand up for kindness. And somewhere on the road, under the stars, a rough biker rode on with a tiny beaded bracelet glinting in the moonlight, a small reminder that the greatest strength in this world is compassion.